The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC, UPenn's finest, and Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. Another great episode for you guys today with, NBA Christmas coming up and NFL Christmas coming up. We're about quarter way through the NBA season. We wanted to do our NBA quarter season awards. So we'll start with that after we do Summits Plummets and before we get into the Week 15 recap of the NFL. Like I just said, we'll be doing the recap. Going to be previewing Week 16, hots and locks, and then each of us are going to, since we have football all weekend plus Monday, each of us are going to give you a parlay for each day that we got football going on for this holiday weekend. As y'all see, I'm feeling very festive. This is going to be our last episode before Christmas, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Very emphasis on the happy holidays, especially if you work retail, which happy holidays is supposed to be the safe one. But apparently, if you say happy holidays, those people will say Merry Christmas, like very firmly. I'm like, okay, man, not everyone celebrates. So I'll say happy holidays, man.
Have a good one.
Disrespectful for those who celebrate Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Boxing Day, New Year's. There's a lot going on, and you stop trying to be so inclusive. Look, I am feeling jolly. I do celebrate, so I will flaunt it. But enough yapping about the holidays. Danny, get us kicked off with Summits Plummets, please.
Summits and Plummets. Summit of the day. In 24 hours, I will be in an ACL brace. Nice. I don't know if it's Summit or Plummet. It's finally getting fixed. I should be able to. The real Summit is this summer, I'll be able to hoop for the first time in 2 years.
Nice.
Well, you hooped. Well, you hooped last summer.
I played defense like Al Horford. Come on, man.
So you played good defense.
I tried to play good defense, but I moved like Al Horford. I was just like shuffle step in. You move like a snail, but like it's so efficient when you try to move.
Al Horford is goated. Don't ever say that. If you could
He's
defend
goated.
like him,
He's
I'd pick
goated,
you first every time.
Okay. I don't know. He's goated.
No, that's no. That's for sure a Summit. I guess for the Holly Jolly episode, we could call it Naughties and Nice. But
Naughties and Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Presents or Cole? Cole got Cole. So we'll consider that a W.
You're in the presence of Danny Cole, so that's a present.
Exactly. And I'm listening to J. I'm not listening to J. Cole right now, but
you will be.
Well, if we consider that a Summit, or I guess if we consider both, do we have another both, or do we have a Plummet? Or I would say I got a pretty good Summit for you right now.
No, it's all you.
Oh, well, I was just saying another one for you could be that Joel Embiid just gave a whooping to arguably the best team in the NBA and the defensive player of the year at the moment. I mean, 51 points or 52 points,
52
12
and 13.
boards, 52 and 13.
Yeah, 3 assists, I think.
Dog. We'll be talking a lot about Joel Embiid a little bit later, but I mean, like, for a week straight after being called Pistons Wizard Man to go out against like the best defense in the NBA and do this is remarkable. And
wait, can we talk about the last 2 weeks for Joel Embiid?
No, we're not talking about Pistons Wizards Man, but for tonight, we'll give him his credit. Nah, for the what's he averaging over the last 2 weeks? Do you have
I don't know. I have his stats. He got 50, 38, 34, 41, 35, 42, 40, and 51. So it's probably somewhere around 45.
And while a lot of those are against like very, very bad basketball teams, he's not even playing in the fourth quarter. A lot of those, like I really do have to give him his credit. Like you play who's in front of you. As Doc Rivers said last year, don't play with your meat. He don't play with his meat. He gets it done. He takes care of his meat.
Since he sat out against the Celtics for that flu or whatever he had going on, he probably gave it to Jalen Hurts. For being for real, it was a flu. It was Al Horforditis. Yeah, it was something like that. But Embiid sat out that game. The Eagles haven't won a game, but the Sixers sure have been on fire. In the last 2 weeks,
we're in a bad spot as a city when the Sixers are our shining glory.
you're wrong. The Flyers.
It's the Flyers. Yes, it's the Flyers. What are we, like,
Eagles
second in the Metro?
The Eagles traded everything they had got just for the Flyers to be relevant again.
All we wanted was a Super Bowl, and we're about to get a Stanley Cup instead. Whatever, I'll take it. Chris, we can move on to your summits and plummet.
Okay.
Can you have a plummet when you're about to be on a boat?
Yeah. The only way you can.
Plummeting.
I can tell you the only way you can have a plummet.
Whoa! Nope.
I can tell you. I mean, it could be a Titanic vibe, but I hope not. But if it is, I'm telling you, we both getting on that door. Not just one of us will be in the water.
Exactly. Yo, you will know. Yeah. There's enough room on that door.
We're gonna find out. Something's gonna happen. But yeah,
it's gonna sink. It's gonna sink.
Yeah, the only plummet I got is I just had to watch Darvin Ham coach another basketball game and watch lineups that have Rui Hachimura playing center. So that is a plummet that one, Rui Hachimura is still on the team, and two, that Darvin Ham still coaching the team. I would trade both of them if I could. So that's my plummet. That's my plummet. My summit is that I'll be spending the holidays, well, not New Year's, but Christmas and with my family. So I'm excited about that. Very, very, very excited about that, being on the boat and everything like that. So, yeah, that's my summit. And if anybody's out there listening, have any connection to the Lakers, please do something about Darvin Ham and Rui. Send them on the same ship somewhere else. They get on the same boat as us. They just can't come back. They can go with us, and they can't come
back. I have a hell of a plummet. I forgot. I have a real plummet. So Jalen Hurts, when Julian Love got that fake interception, number one, his foot didn't get down. Number two, he bobbled the ball going to the ground.
I don't think he did. Like they were looking at that play for 5 minutes, man. I think they would have noticed.
His foot didn't hit the ground though.
It did.
Anyway,
it did, man. It did
because of that shot interception. I lost my fantasy playoff game by 1 point because we played defensively. That's got to be the worst feeling. We said that this is probably like the craziest ending to a fantasy playoff game of all time. An interception on the Monday Night Football game to win a game.
Yeah, that's crazy,
man.
That's crazy.
That's brutal, man. I'm sorry for your loss.
I lost my first fantasy game this year because we tied. And I don't remember what the tiebreaker was. Like, I don't remember. I just know I lost. And it was the first
tying in fantasy is crazy.
Tying in fantasy basketball is so vicious. Like, how? How does that even work?
I would say basketball stat lines are so weird. How do you even get that? Like, how do you tie in fantasy points? That makes no sense.
Mind blowing.
I'll keep my summit and plummet short and sweet. My summit is that, the holidays are here and you spend time with your family, and, Chris gets to go on a boat. Danny's getting a new knee. All is well on this side. Plummet. Jason Tatum has PTSD. Jalen Hurts has Brian Johnson. He hired his homeboy, and look at where he got him. So, if they don't beat the Giants, man, I'll be tweeting that picture out again. Thank you, fans. Yeah. That's my new favorite thing. I have it saved for the Celtics. I have it saved for the Eagles. I have it on deck at all times, man. But we can get into our NBA quarter season awards. Do we want to just start with MVP?
Let's start with the hot topic.
Yeah, we can start with MVP. Did anybody want to go first? Or it doesn't matter to me.
I'll go first.
I can go first. Go
ahead.
Mine.
Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So my preseason prediction was Nikola Jokic, and while I think right now that wouldn't be a bad one, he's still putting up phenomenal numbers, historic efficiency. The Nuggets are not in the place I want them to be to give this type of award out. I think right now the MVP is Joel Embiid. Look, plain and simple, you play who's in front of you. They don't have the most gorgeous record against teams over 500, but great timing. They just beat the top seed out west. Joel Embiid had a field day. But even besides that, I would say even besides this Timberwolves game, all the whole 2 week period of playing, some of the worst teams in the league, he hasn't taken his foot off the gas. Again, putting up 35 a game. averaging like a monstrous double-double. His playmaking has gotten better. It's a little bit harder to double team him on the post now. He's able to react, kick out to his shooters, and he's got Philly in a great spot. Him and Tyrese Maxey splitting the playmaking roles has been huge for them. Nick Nurse has been huge for them. Joel Embiid anchoring one of the best defenses in the NBA. They have, I believe they sit around the same offensive rating as the Pacers, who are an historic rate. Difference is Philly has one of the best defensive units in basketball. That's led by Joel Embiid, offense led by Joel Embiid. And again, like I was saying earlier, just because he's playing the Pistons and Wizards, every other day, he's handling business. There are teams out there, there are contenders out there that know they're going to be in a dogfight with these teams. Joel Embiid's like, I'm not having it. I'm going to take care of it. And so basically to wrap up my case, super efficient, putting up 35 a game, has made the playmaking leap, it seems, all while being one of the best defenders in the NBA, in my opinion. So my MVP is Joel Embiid.
I like that case. One thing I like to note, the Sixers are a different team when Kelly Oubre is playing.
Absolutely. What are they, 9 or now 10-1 when Kelly Oubre is in the lineup? Their one loss being to the Bucks in the season opener.
I know it's going to be crazy. Kelly Oubre doesn't move you that much, but having a guy who can go get a bucket, not named Tobias Harris, it helps.
No, I think Kelly Oubre is exceptional. Me and Chris will both why did it take all offseason to someone give him a vet min?
Yeah.
This is a championship level role player.
Yeah.
He's not even a role player at that point.
He can be a third guy over Tobias. Yeah. He can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like on nights, he can be a third guy. My bad.
Soon enough, Kelly Oubre going to be saying, Tobias Harris over me?
Nah. Yo, if we live in that reality, man, Philly is cursed. I still think Tobias is very good. The advanced metrics will not support him, unfortunately. I just think he's in a slump. I think he'll bounce back. Because imagine a Sixers team where Kelly and Tobias is hitting. Now we're talking about like a real championship contender. You know what I'm saying?
I told Tony this. There was a guy in Central Park yesterday. He had these posters of like the best 4 players in your team. Anyway, Jason Tatum was wearing slides in the picture, but that's not that was.
Yeah, but that was crazy. How about
he said they they're Boston-based companies, so that's why they like the Celtics in New York City, right? And the guy got my attention. I don't know how he knew it was from Philly, but he said Tobias Harris over me.
I don't know. Maybe apparently Philly and like Delaware County, like apparently they have an accent that I'm not aware of. Like I have no clue.
No. Delco has an accent. They say, "Yo, bro, how you doing?"
What? That just sounds like your average Brad. Like I don't know. I don't hear it. But Chris, if you want to give us your MVP and state your case, floor is yours.
Well, I think there's only 2 answers right now. Tone's one of them. Danny, I think, agrees with Tone. And there's only one other option. You guys can probably guess. Shavonte Gilgeous-Alexander is my pick for MVP. And I'll tell you why. The reason why I picked Shea is because kind of like in Embiid's case, the Sixers added by subtraction to an extent, but the Thunder did add Chet Holmgren, and that was huge. One thing I will say, Shea elevates the players around him almost like a big man can. Like Joel draws a lot of double teams and he's able to kick out, or you're so scared of doubling because he can't kick out that you won't double him, that it makes everybody else that much more special on the court. And I think just players like Isaiah Joe, Chet Holmgren, like the guys are just feeding off of just how good he is on offensively. It lets Chet kind of roll into figuring out how he's going to play for the Thunder offensively. So I think just like I said, I think we looked at the Thunder as a team who could, take a step, and I think they are at this point. I mean, of course, we're still early, 25, 27 games in the season, I want to say. But I think as of right now, I think the second best team in the NBA that has been the second best team outside of Sixers, consistently, I would say it's either the Thunder or the Timberwolves. And I think the reason why they've been that good is because of Shea. So I'd give it to Shea if it wasn't Joel. Joel would be, I think he's the front runner he should be, but I think Shea he's my choice, and I think he's probably second right now overall.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. Maybe call me crazy, but I think Shea is like the Josh Allen of the NBA.
You'd have to further elaborate.
He like without Shea, the Thunder are objectively not that great. Like they're okay.
They got really good role players.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The Bills are the same way,
but they're unlocked by Shea. That's the thing.
This is going to sound crazy. I think Luka resembles Josh Allen a little bit more because of that erratic, like somehow Josh Allen able to do this heliocentric play style in football. Where I actually think, Chris would love this. I think SGA kind of reminds me of like Lamar a lot.
All I'm gonna say is I know, and I was gonna say the same thing, and I'll give you this comparison right here, Tom, before you even go. Shea, Lamar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Odell, acquisition. I can't say the word, so I'm gonna skip it.
Accusation.
There you go.
Acquisition. I said accusation.
That's what I was about to say. Don't worry, we have the same brain. So Odell, them bringing in Odell is like Chet coming back to an extent, because it adds another element to the team. And that's the only reason why I say that. He's not as flashy as Odell, but he adds another element. Like,
is Lou Dort going to get hurt, and then Isaiah Joe going to step up and be a GOAT for
if you're trying to compare Lou Dort to Mark Andrews, I will kick you off this. You can. I'm not saying the other dude's name. Jalen Williams can be Mark Andrews. I won't say the other guy, but yeah, I'm bad.
Who else is Mark Andrews on the Thunder? Because I can't name who Mark Andrews is on the Thunder.
Damn. Good one. It may
Let's pray nobody tear their ACL. Whatever it was. Now, what I wanted to say with Shea, a couple numbers here. Averaging 30 points per game, 5 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals a game. That leads the NBA. It's 2.8, almost 3 steals a game. And here are his last 6 games. 30 points, 25, 43, 30, 38, 33. All of these super efficient games, by the way. So, and he has his Thunder in the 2 seed in the Western Conference. I would agree. Those are probably the 2 leading candidates for MVP right now. Joel Embiid and SGA. Lucas, I think, still is a pretty good argument. He has to keep the Mavericks afloat. If he can keep the Mavericks afloat, he'll have an amazing argument. But, we've seen it with James Harden for many years. He goes absolutely insane. You hit around that February, March area, you start to, you catch a flat tire, things happen. So he kind of needs Kyrie back to help that, just because he's going to have the numbers with or without Kyrie. He just needs to have his Mavericks, playing good ball. But we can move on to Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know.
I did not make my case for MVP. My case for MVP is the same what it was preseason. It's the guy who continues to drag his team somehow into playoff contention. The same way that I said Josh Allen is dragging his team somehow into playoff contention is Luka Doncic.
Oh.
Luka continuously, with or without Kyrie, is the focal point of this team. Like you said with Josh Allen, they're a good comparison. Everything runs around them. If they have an off night, they're going to lose. Same way with the Bills. If the Mavs are having a bad night because Luka's having a bad night, you might as well go home. And that's why Chris sold his tickets sometimes, because he doesn't want to. He has a weird feeling Luka's going to have a bad game. Sells his tickets. So
yeah, I don't even know how to explain this stretch that Luka Doncic is on. So the Mavericks are the 5th seed in the Western Conference as of this recording. He's averaging 32.9 points per game, 8 boards, 9 assists. Is relatively alive on defense. At least he averages a steal a game. And I mean, this stretch that he's on is ridiculous, man. Like I can't read
talk
them
about
all.
what he
You can
did
look him up
against
yourself, but
let's talk about what he did against the Thunder on December 2nd. 36, 15, and 18. That is legitimately one of the craziest stat lines I've ever heard.
When he's able to outdo his 2K self, that's when you know he's actually insane.
He outdoes what you do with my career player on 2K.
Yeah,
he's
that's
rivaling James Harden Rockets numbers right now. Like James
He
Harden
might
did a
be doing
50,
better.
11, and 10 in the Garden. No, you
I
gotta
think
go look at
James
in the
Harden was a
50.
better shooter. That's where I'll
Yeah.
give Harden the edge. Better shooter. I think Doncic was a little stronger around the rim. Just it'd be
100%.
big body. So
Any post,
but
any post.
yeah.
He also knows the game of basketball more.
Harden or Luka?
Luka plays that like bumping, give me that shit. Harden just runs
Well,
recklessly sometimes.
I
Well,
think he
I
got that
mean,
from Harden. He stole it from him.
yeah, I would say that jump
Stole
bump thing before. I mean, D Wade obviously grandfathered that, but
Ginobili before him.
and it was
You know what Kyrie be doing? He be going up, under, lay that John.
Kyrie for someone who actually gets hacked so much, like just doesn't get calls. Like every time Kyrie goes to the rim, I promise you, he is somehow on the floor. And I question, I'm like, how do you think he got there? It's because he got fouled, but I think it's because he's so small that I don't know. I'm just not gonna call it. But we can move on to Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if anybody disagrees. I'm gonna go with Rudy Gobert. He's back to that generational rim protection level that the Timberwolves traded for. He leads the best defense in the NBA. And I think, unlike any situation he's had in his career, everybody on the perimeter can guard. I mean, Mike Conley's a little bit on the older side, but Edwards is committed. We know McDaniels is a great perimeter defender. Cat, when willing, can be, a plus defender. Same thing with Naz Reid. He has the tools to be that plus defender. And even if not, if you're a offensive creator and you do all this to finally get by one of these guys, you're meeting arguably the best rim protector of all time at the rim. So, yeah, I think Rudy Gobert has been doing a great job operating the best defense in the NBA. This is what you traded for. Well on his way for a 4th Defensive Player of the Year, and I can't believe people question whether he'd be a Hall of Famer. Look, he don't got a bag. He don't got 2 post moves that he can do back to back. But god damn it, if he can't do none on that end, he gonna bring everything he got on the defensive end. And I think he deserves Defensive Player of the Year, at least to this point in the season.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I agree with that. The
And
other guy
I would say, the case is strong when Chris not saying Anthony Davis.
Yeah, bro, I love AD, but
he still got a shot too, and he still is a shot.
But Rudy Gobert has been the best defender in the NBA, even as good as Anthony Davis has been. And I watch Lakers game really close, so obviously it would be a bias. But even with my bias there, Rudy Gobert, I mean, he's back to like what he was with the Jazz as far as defending the rim. And like you said, I think the biggest thing you said is actually other solid perimeter defenders around him, so it makes his job a little bit easier too.
Okay, wrong sport for Defensive Player of the Year. Can someone explain to me why Micah Parsons is favorite right now?
America's team.
Yeah, I say that's
a
all
load
I
of
got
shit.
for you.
The Pittsburgh
that's really
Steelers
all I got for you.
The Pittsburgh Steelers would be 4-11 without TJ Watt. So
Let's give it to Khalil Mack. This will make everybody mad. The
We'll
most sacks.
Justin Madueke. Okay, pay him.
Bro,
I
can we just, for real, we should really just give it to Roquan or Fred Warner, in my opinion. But let's not. It's not the coolest edge rusher every year. Let's change it up.
okay, TJ does have 16 sacks.
I don't know why that surprised me. Like
Steelers don't make the playoffs. Don't give it to him.
That's not his fault. We have fucking Mitch Trubisky at quarterback.
Hey man,
we got Mason.
I would take yo.
Not stopping Myles Garrett.
Fair. I'm taking Joe Flacco threw for 385. I don't think we ever had a quarterback do that in the last 5 years.
Ravens legend.
Y'all could have signed Joe Flacco.
We could have.
Y'all could have signed him as of last week. He was on a practice squad. Still, they were starting him and then deactivating him. Y'all could have signed him.
Anyway,
all I see this as is fire Tomlin. But anyway, can we get back to back to NBA? Dave, did you have any word on this league's defensive player of the year?
No.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert. All I'll say is Jaren Jackson Jr. somehow is good at offense against some teams. He dropped 45 the other night.
But he's not real.
Hey,
You're
I'm
not
gonna tell you,
real.
Jaren Jackson is the Austin Eckler of the NBA. Unfortunately, he is a block merchant and a foul artist. That dude averaged
Block
4.5
merchant.
fouls. Four and a
Yeah,
half.
averaging that many fouls, bro, like,
Four and
could
a half.
never be
Wait.
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
But
How would a check down merchant compare to someone in the NBA?
Jaren Jackson, block merchant.
cherry pick merchant,
Oh,
De'Aaron Fox.
fast break merchant.
what's a real fast break merchant? I'm trying to think now because now you
Emmanuel quickly. Oh,
You know
Oh
what?
my gosh.
Not bad. Not a bad.
Fast break merchant.
Not a bad one.
All right, what award did we want to go to next? I was thinking between Coach of the Year and Most Improved.
Coach of the year.
Want to do Coach of the Year?
Anybody but Darvin
Coach-
Ham. Yes.
Oh, oh man. Chris, on a real note, floor is yours on Coach of the Year.
Coach
I'm
of the year.
gonna take the hint, and maybe it's not Darvin Ham.
Surprise! It is not Darvin Ham. Of course not. The coach of the year is coaching the front runner of the MVP right now. And the reason I give Nick Nurse coach of the year for the first quarter of the season, that's a lot. He came into a team that had a lot going on. James Harden was teetering between being fat and wanting to leave. He didn't know what he wanted to do. Then he had to figure out how to maximize the Maxey and Embiid together. He running a brand new offense, very different than they've ever ran, getting up and down the court more, just trying a whole bunch of new things. And it seems like all the buttons he's pushing is working. He's playing DeAnthony Melton more. And I think that's a big deal because Melton's really, really good when he's on the floor. He has Pat Bev, Pat Reed. Everybody on the team right now is playing really well. I think they gelled really well. I think a lot of that starts with coaching the coaching staff. I mean, I hate Doc Rivers too, but they hated him and they played for him. So at the end of the day, I think Nick Nurse has done a really, really, really good job. I could have gave it to Diagno from the Thunder because I have a lot of respect for what they're doing, or even the Timberwolves coach, Chris Finch, I want to say. I couldn't give it to him, but I think Nick Nurse deserves it because dealing with the superstar wanting out as soon as you get there and then figuring out how to have the record that you're having right now, I think you got to give it to Nick Nurse.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Chris Finch is a very, very good option too, in my opinion. You know what? Because I went Embiid MVP, I'll go with Chris Finch for Coach of the Year. And the argument is he simply has Anthony Edwards, who's a budding. He's there. He needs, give him 2 playoff series wins, and he's gonna be a superstar. But you need that playoff success. But I mean, he's close, and he has a talented player like that bought in on the defensive end. You can't get on his floor without being bought in on the defensive end, and that's what him and Nick Nurse have in common. You're not gonna play defense. You can't play for my team. And he has his team bought in. He has seemingly revived Rudy Gobert. So while I take away Nick Nurse's Coach of the Year because he has the MVP, I'm going to give Ryan Finch Coach of the Year but he is the deep boy. But anyway, I think either of those options are perfectly fine. I think they're both doing a good job operating 2 of the best, if not the 2 best defenses in basketball. And while tonight Nick Nurse did get Ryan Finch's number, Timberwolves are still having a phenomenal season. That's thanks a lot to Coach. So Danny, you will either be a tiebreaker or you're going to pick someone else, and you can't pick Taylor Jenkins. You cannot pick your friend.
Yep, conflict of interest.
John Morant's definitely helping the team right now. They're in the upward trajectory. But my pick of Coach of the Year is Rick Carlisle, and because what he's doing with the Pacers. He has just elevated every player. Whatever you thought Miles Turner and whatever you thought Halliburton was, he just makes them better.
Yeah. Yeah.
We saw what Halliburton was pre-trade, and we're like, it's a good trade for both teams. Now you're like, the Kings got robbed. Miles Turner is becoming a good basketball player. He's not just a role player. They have their offensive efficiency speaks for itself. They need to improve defense, and I don't think it's Carlisle. I think it's more on the team side of things. But
I'll say this in the in-season tournament, the Pacers have the dudes to buckle down on defense. I
Dude,
do think
his
Carlisle
name
could
is a crib.
maybe light a fire in their ass a little more. But I mean, yeah, when he brings out 120% of everybody's offensive potential. God damn it, he makes Aaron Naismith playable on offense. Like
Dude, Halliburton is a
that.
crib on defense. He's a crib. He's big as hell.
Yeah, it just he is a thinner frame. It's a little easier to attack him, but I will say, Naismith, very good defender. Bruce Brown, very good defender. Buddy Hield, a plus defender in my opinion. Miles Turner hasn't been the same like elite level rim protector that he once was. Which I'd have to look into that a little more. I'm not exactly sure why, but he seems to be a free 30 for every big man. Which is a shame. He used to be really good, but
Yeah,
I like the Rick Carlisle pick. He's a complete opposite type of play style coach, I think, from who me and Chris selected. But I like your points. Yeah, the offensive efficiency speaks for itself. I mean, he's turned. I'm not to say it's all his credit, but I mean, like, I think Halliburton's progression has sped up under Carlisle. He's going to be an all-star starter. Definitely in the running for an all NBA spot. Might be a little tough in the positionless NBA, all NBA now, but yeah. So we have most improved, and we have 6-man of the year left.
Yeah, we're not saying clutch player of the year. We're not voting on that. That's a guess.
I'll tell you what, it's not Jason Tatum. Jesus Christ. So we could go 6-man of the year. I mean, I think that one's pretty simple. Not that there's like a bona fide answer. And we also have rookie of the year. But most improved, or 6-man of the year. It seems to just be who's the best bucket off the bench. I don't know if he would technically qualify because I don't know the amount of games played because he started a fair share of games.
Are you talking about the man on Darvin Ham's team?
Yes, it is the man sulking on Darvin Ham's bench just to start the games, but he is a starter in this league. I'd go Austin Reeves. I mean, I don't know if he necessarily
AR-15, baby. AR-15.
For legal reasons, I will not be repeating that. But with Austin Reeves, he's a starter in this league. I don't know if Chris knows the logic behind him coming off the bench besides being like a spark plug, but I mean, like, he runs perfectly alongside LeBron and AD. He needs more minutes with LeBron and AD. He hasn't. I wouldn't say he's necessarily taken that star leap that they were hoping for, but still, efficient scorer off the bench, plus defender, has come up big in moments when they need him to. I can't think of moments where he just hasn't shown up for the guys. So if he keeps coming off the bench, the case will build. He'll have enough, I guess, bench starts. I guess you would have to put it. Games coming off the bench, but my pick is Austin Reeves. And Chris, you want to go next? I don't know if you also have Austin Reeves or you have someone else, but
nope, no AR. But I will say to answer what you said, it's more so to keep a aggressive ball handler on the floor at all times because low starts
that makes a lot
grind
more sense
and all that. And then the idea is to bring Reeves in with Vando and or Rui. So that's like what they're doing. But I mean, it is Darvin Ham. Who knows? So 6-man of the year. My vote is going to a person I'm actually not really that big of a fan of, but I think he's been balling this year and helping to keep this team afloat. My 6-man of the year vote goes to Tim Hardaway Jr. I'm not a Tim Hardaway Jr. fan like that, but I have to give credit where it's due. He's been a big part of the help as to why Luka's been able to keep the games, like the Mavs afloat, while Kyrie's out or been in and out, or just people being consistent. I think Hardaway Jr. has been very consistent for Tim Hardaway Jr. for what he does. Like for him to be a shot chucker, which he is, he's been efficient enough this year to where it's not like detrimental to your team or it's not necessarily hurting. He's active on defense. He's active in transition. I think he's just been a very good player this year for them off the bench. And I think he'd get my vote for 6-man year right now.
He's Tim Hardaway. His last 5 games are about as Tim Hardaway as it's going to get. 21 points, 8 points, 25 points, 10 points, 32 points. The consistency might kill him, but yeah, I mean, when Kyrie's out, when the Kyrie's out, there isn't no one besides Luka that like Tim Hardaway can go get a bucket. Is it going to be efficient? No. It's going to be pretty. No, it's gonna look fun though. Yeah, and I mean,
He's a
averaging
3-point shooting Terry
yeah,
Rozier when it comes to efficiency. That's what he is.
yeah. I mean,
She knows where they're going.
Tim Hardaway's in this league for a reason, man. He can get to a bucket, and he had that cool shootout with Deion Waiters at one time. So, but no, I mean that's a great pick, and I could definitely see it happening down the road, as long as he's that continues to be that third scoring option, and of course the spark plug off the bench, and helping Luca keep their playoff hopes alive. So yeah, I like that one a lot. And Danny, floor
You
is
know
yours
what?
to wrap up
You know
six
what?
man of the year.
I was thinking of a very notable New York Knick, but you know who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with 2K legend Benedict Mathurin.
Oh, so you're showing a lot of Pacers love. Okay.
Yeah, I think that he's really crucial to the development of this team. I think he long term he could be a starter for this team, but right now him coming off the bench is just a spark plug. Like it see his last 5 games, 14, 34. Timberwolves, he had 6 points. They had 13, 14, 30, 20. 20 against the Lakers. Against the Pistons, he had 37 and 8. That's like an Embiid stat line on a bad night.
That's your average Lucas stat line, to be quite honest. But yeah, I agree. I think that's a lot of it with Ben Mathurin is just like finding a rhythm. Like sometimes the minutes can be a little sporadic, but I do like the pick. I mean, he plays with a lot of enthusiasm. He wants to crash the board. He wants to get physical. And there was a stretch last year. He was really pushing Banchero for that rookie of the year, and then injuries and the Pacers falling off, played a part in him dropping. But yeah, I like that pick a lot.
Why do I feel like he's like 25? He's 21. What the hell?
I mean, but he made such an impact so early. He seems like one of those 4-year seniors that come out of school, which I tagged Chris earlier. There's a certain 4-year senior down there in Miami, Jaime Jaquez, who's he's sprinkling in the black magic very, very, very early.
Dude, Jaime Jaquez, I told y'all pre-draft. I told you he is him.
I'll say you told me because I've never heard of him, but Chris is a basketball junkie. So
yeah, Danny was right. He was right. Jaime, like I said, I think Tony, you alluded to it. Like when you stay in college, it can either be really good or really bad. He's one of those guys where it was really good for him because coming out of playing up and down UCLA, you got a lot of one and dones come through, and he was like that steady force. I know y'all might remember Jalen Hands, guys like that came to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a steady force, and I think he's ready. He was ready to come contribute to a good team. So I think he fell to the perfect place too.
Yeah, I think another a guy we go ahead, Danny.
The people who aren't contributors, Zach Edey, because he might not get drafted, and Drew Timme.
No. Both horrible.
They both are like a walking L in the defensive end.
They don't love college basketball. They're ducking the NBA smoke, but someone needs to tell them, don't worry about that, pal. You don't got to worry about that. I would say just real quick, another 4-year senior that, is thriving as a role player in the NBA and was kind of effective immediately. We don't like him, but Grayson Allen. I mean,
I like
quite.
him.
I mean, as Duke villain as it gets.
Why don't you like Grayson Allen?
Hey man,
because he's a villain, and because
he tried to kill Alex Caruso one time. So I think I'm cool off him, man.
Wait, does he give you Cole Beasley energy?
Kind of.
Nick Bosa.
But here's the difference. But like JJ gives me Julian Edelman energy, and that's cool, But nonetheless, actually the Temple assistant basketball coach Bobby Jordan coached Zach Edey at IMG Academy, and Zach Edey didn't start at IMG, which is obvious, but thought I'd share that little tale. You guys always have your cool plugs. Here's mine.
I'm taking Taco Fall over Zach Edey.
Yes, absolutely. Taco Fall has a career 3 on him, so I didn't want to spend too much. Right? I didn't want to spend too much. When he was on, I think when he was on the C's, I think, but I didn't want to spend too much time on most improved, because it's Tyrese Maxey, right?
Got to be.
Chris, did you have someone different?
If
you did, Tyrese is not the obvious one. It's just, to me, it's weird though, because he was like an all-star level guy, and then he's making a mid to high tier all-star level guy. So
let me tell you exactly what I think. I agree with y'all 100%. I think Tyrese Maxey is 100% the most improved player. But remember a couple years back, it might have been last year, a couple years back, they wanted to give John Morant MVP so bad at first, and ended up giving him most improved. I think it's going to Halliburton. I think Halliburton's going to get most improved, because even though he was really good, the step he took and the step the Pacers took, I think they're going to give it to him because he can't get MVP. Obviously not MVP, but he might be the most valuable and most improved player at the same time type thing, like how they did Josh. So I can see Halliburton getting it in that range. But I think
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
You know the real most improved player?
Who?
The guy with autism up in Toronto.
Oh, Scotty.
Or Scotty Barnes. Too.
Or Scott. Damn. Maybe it's not as obvious as Tyrese Maxey as I thought.
But I think Halliburton's going to get it, though, for that job reason. Like,
I will say from a skill
set. Does Scotty Barnes actually have autism?
No.
I don't think so. No. I don't think
but
he is.
It's like but they say that. I seen something on the internet. They're like, why does Scotty Barnes have autism? I'm confused.
It's just because he's sporadic. He's funny. That really started because Tony Snell came out and was like, I was diagnosed with autism. So people were like, yeah, test Scotty next. But Scotty, I would say from a skill set standpoint, I don't think anyone's improved more than Scotty. Scotty used to get guarded like Ben Simmons. He used to get guarded like Rudy Gobert. And now he can hit
step back threes.
He hits threes at an average pace. He can shoot off the dribble. Like, from a skill set standpoint, I couldn't be more proud of how Scotty Barnes, what he's turned into. And free him, man, because every time we talk about the Montverde team, is Cade and them. But, like, he was right there, dog. It's Cade, Scotty, and them, not just Cade and them.
Yes, dude.
That was
Scotty
a NBA player on that joint, too. Low key.
Exactly.
Scotty's jump is what we thought Ben was going to do.
That's what Ben is. Exactly. It's what Ben was supposed to be, man. I would say Ben had him, like, prime Ben Simmons had him in, like, floor vision. But, like, dude, when you can't stretch the floor, it's tough. So me and Danny got Maxey.
Is Ben
Chris
Simmons
has the
ever
other
play?
He just got reevaluated. He should be starting to ramp back up. But, like, yeah, the back nerves are clearly an issue.
Remember when we first heard it, Sixers fans were like, yo, he had a fake back injury?
Nah, things linger. Things lingered for him. And then Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year.
Ooh, it's hot.
Hot. I could see us having two different answers. My answer is going to be Vic. This isn't like a most valuable rookie thing. I've never liked that about how some people try to treat that as the award. Cade Cunningham got screwed out of Rookie of the Year because of that.
100%.
He was the best rookie, but they gave it to Scotty because he was arguably the best player on a playoff team as a rookie. So,
yeah.
But I'm going to give it to Vic. I don't care how bad the Spurs are. The Spurs will be in a much better place if they started Trey Jones, but they're clearly opting to tank. But Wemby's still putting up good numbers, 19 and 8. Not the best efficiency, but that's going to happen when you're the number one option on a bad team. And where Craig Popovich openly admitted, it was like, we don't run plays for Wemby. We just let him freestyle. He's shooting 43% while freestyling as a 19-year-old. Hey, man, I clap it up for him. I really do. I think he's been the best rookie so far. Chet, amazing argument. If you think it's Chet, I'll give it to you. A couple other rookies just want to shout out. Like we said, Jaime Jaquez has been a good contributor on a team that is going to make noise in the playoff again. Asar Thompson has unfortunately fell off because Monty Williams is blackballing him. I don't free Asar.
I'm the one that made Asar Thompson fall off. I bet on him to his PRA, and he's been ass since. So,
yeah, that'll do it, man. You and I both.
my black magic hit, and then Asar Thompson has been ass. So,
could you bet the Tatum under by any chance? Like, just go under 50 if you could.
Tatum under minutes. Oh,
yeah. What, you just hoping he get hurt or something? Did anyone else have anyone else for Rookie of the Year, or did you want to move on?
Wembanyama. That's how you say it on 2K. That's my good.
What bananas? Oh yeah, Kevin Harlan be glazing on 2K.
Bro,
oh my god.
Wembanyama.
It's just a fun name to get hype about. I don't blame him.
What did it say when he first got drafted? He's like, Wembanyama.
Wembenyami? Who's saying that?
The two gay dudes were like, "Welcome to welcome to San Antonio, Wembenyami."
Yeah. I remember
Yo,
that.
you're gonna have to
It
like
was on
send me that video or
ESPN,
something
Tom.
after.
It was
Yeah,
on
it was on
ESPN.
ESPN.
It was
Hey.
no
All right.
BS.
All right, man. Well, those were our NBA quarter season awards. We can move on to the NFL Week 15 recap, and I wanted to talk about those red hot Buffalo Bills that Danny has been tuning his horn on for the last two weeks. They get big win against a red hot Cowboys team, like scorching hot Cowboys team, and they put them to a halt with Josh Allen throwing for under 100 yards.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought James Cook? James Cook's like on a tear right now. 4 straight games over 100 scrimmage yards, and last game just went insane. I mean, if the Bills can find a formula to win without relying on Josh Allen hero ball, who exactly is primed to stop this team?
No one.
I mean, Ravens are still my favorites in the AFC, but I mean, like,
I'm
Bills
gonna
are a
tell you
scary
this:
team. Yeah, go
the
ahead, Danny. Floor is
Bills.
yours because
I said it 2 weeks ago when the Steelers lost to the Patriots. I said I hope the Steelers don't make the playoffs, and I hope that the Bills backdoor a run because they are the team to beat in the AFC. And it with the Bills and the Bills and the Ravens are really the teams to beat because I think the Bills can go stride for stride with the Ravens offense. The Ravens defense is probably a little bit better,
I
but
think it's better because Bills are hurt. But yeah,
yeah, but the Bills secondary when they're healthy, they're probably just as good. Tre'Davious White, I mean, it's a shame about him, but you still have both your starting safeties. You still got Von Miller. You still got Gregory Rousseau. You still got a bunch of dudes who can rush the passer. You got decent linebackers. I mean, Matt Milano would help a lot right now, but this team is a team that's coached by a defensive wizard in Sean McDermott. And you got the pieces on offense. If you let the run game start clicking and Josh Allen doesn't need to be a little bit homey, then this team is going places.
yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, this is the hottest team. Now, mind you, it's just 2 wins. It's just 2 wins in a row, but they're the hottest team in football because of that. It's like you go into Arrowhead. Did they go into Arrowhead or Arrowhead come or Chiefs come to them? I can't remember. You beat the Chiefs.
At the Arrowhead, I believe.
You all right, you go into Arrowhead, you win. And then you host the hottest team in football and you destroy them. I mean, morale could not be higher in Buffalo. Like seriously, they have a real shot to come out of the AFC. They have a real shot to win this division, as we discussed last week, because they got this. I said they could afford the Cowboys' loss. They said, "Nah, screw that. We're gonna get the win." Miami obviously pummels the Jets. But now you look at it, Miami's got to play Dallas, who's fresh off a whooping from the Bills. I don't see them losing 2 in a row. Then they got to play Baltimore, who, regardless, Baltimore is either going into there as one of the hottest teams in the NFL, taking down the Niners, or they're going in there fresh off a whooping from the Niners. And I don't see Baltimore losing 2 in a row either. And then the Bills have the Chargers and the Patriots. So week 18 is going to be for the division. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
The crazy part is, if the Broncos were to win out, which they got the Patriots, Chargers, and Raiders, the Chiefs have a legitimate chance of not making the playoffs. They will.
Well, the Chiefs will. They will. Their shots at the 1 seed are kind of cooked, but
if
yeah.
they don't win the division, I don't think they make the playoffs, though. That's the problem.
Who at the Chiefs? Or
Yeah,
I think they will. Who's close to them? The Broncos?
the Broncos, and they got a dirt easy schedule. It's insane.
Well, I trust Mahomes to get it done.
Mahomes has to beat Aiden O'Connell, Jake Browning, and Easton Stick, so he should get it done.
If he can't get it done, I have questions. Is he actually a fraud? But I would say we harped on the Bills. We can now harp on the Ravens, who they played a Jaguars team who all year has just been failing to live up to their potential. You'll never hear me badmouth Trevor, but I mean the the play has to be better. To be quite honest, Calvin Ridley has to be better. That offense, like I just said, it's just simply not hitting their stride. But I mean, in terms of the Ravens, credit this defense. I mean, like that secondary could crumble into ashes, and somehow Kyle Hamilton will, by you know, I don't know, he'll make tackles after his death. Like I don't know, man. He's turned into the player that I thought he was coming out of Notre Dame. I thought he was the best player in that class, like overall, regardless of positional value, and he's been exceptional. Roquan Smith has been balling so hard that Danny told me this off air that he thinks he's been the best linebacker in football, which I do disagree, but Roquan's been that good. And then, you can't say enough about this offense, what Lamar's getting done. And Isaiah Likely has stepped up huge these last 2 weeks specifically. And then, you got the band around him. You got Odell, Zay, Aguilar. So, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the two head honchos in the AFC right now, then we're talking about Buffalo and Baltimore. So, yeah, Chris, I don't know if you wanted to harp on your Ravens a little bit, to your own horn a little bit.
Every time I get a chance, of course. Prayers up for my boy Keaton Mitchell, though, because that was unreal. Never seen a leg do that since Paul George. That was sick as hell. Hope he's back fully healthy next year after the ACL tear. But, yeah, bro, I think these next couple games are Lamar's MVP case right here, starting on Monday, for sure. This is a big one. And I'm just happy with what I've seen, bro. Like, I'm just happy. Like I said, I think I expected them to be better, and they have been. They just have been, like, all around. And Roquan, Cal Hamilton, Justin, Pat Queen, what Jadeveon Clowney has given us. It's been beautiful, man. Beautiful. And I'm just really happy to see them. And I'm excited to see this stretch because there's some tough games, some tough teams. And a lot of these games, I mean, these games matter. Every game in football matters, but these games really matter. So I'm excited to see how we get through this stretch and see what happens. But, yeah, I'm excited for the team. I'm excited for where it's going. I like the way the weapons are starting to look. Like I said, I think the offense is rounding into form. And I looked at some, like, random stats today from Ravens realm, and they've been, like, one of the better teams on third down. Like, it's just small things that help you be a great football team in the end. I think they've been that. So just excited to see them continue to grow, and especially these next few weeks, especially playing the 49ers. I'm so excited for that game. I want to see, like, Christian McCaffrey, how elite he is at everything he does. I want to see him against our defense. I want to see, like, how we match up with that. So excited.
Yeah. And I would say really we can hop right into the week 16 preview with that game. I mean, we really had to recap from week 15 is that these head honchos are going crazy.
Let's start off with the game of the year so far.
I mean, I feel like as the weeks go on, someone's in the game of the year. Now Niners are taking the torch of every single game being game of the year. Ravens, every game is going to be game of the year. But this one, I mean, 2 11-3 teams, 2 MVP candidates. You could say 3 MVP candidates if you want to, so you want to count Christian McCaffrey, or really if you want to count Brock Purdy. But I'm playing. I'm playing. Brock's been really good. But go ahead, Dan.
Every time that the Niners have run into an elite defense, they have stumbled. They ran into the Browns, they stumbled. They ran into the Vikings, not an elite defense per se, but Brian Flores got in his bag, they stumbled. And I think they're going to run to the Ravens and fall flat on their face. They haven't seen Kyle Hamilton, they haven't seen Justin Madubuike, and they haven't seen Roquan Smith been able to punch them in their face after running the ball. No team has been able to stop the run that the Niners do the way they do it. This pitch up the middle. I hate this play. I don't get it.
It works though,
How
man.
How's it keep working?
Dude, it works. It works, dude. That pitch up the middle.
Who designs that play? They pitch it to him backwards, and he runs forward right at the middle.
I think. Okay, here's like why I think the science behind that is because I think when you're trying to like coordinate a handoff, it might slow you down a little bit because you want to be like picture perfect as a running back. But like if you're getting the ball pitched to you, all right, I'm just going to catch it in stride and I'm going to, get upfield. I don't know. I don't know. That's my science behind it. But so okay, you're saying Niners get hit in the face because they're
I
going
think
to
I think
see.
that the Ravens win by 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, ooh, okay. Um, I see your logic. I'm gonna disagree. I will say this is clearly the Niners' toughest task so far. This is going to be the best defense they've seen so far, in my opinion. And for their defense, this is going to be the best offense they've seen so
They
far,
ain't
in
seen
my
Lamar.
opinion.
They have never seen Lamar Jackson in the NFL.
Exactly. Even from like the Eagles got all the stars. They got a dual threat quarterback who is or is not injured. He refuses to disclose that, but hey, Lamar ain't injured. So he probably
Kind
got
of
bumps and
crazy.
bruises, but
Hey,
nothing
if y'all
crazy.
watch any Eagles games ever, Jalen Hurts is hurt. He is hurt.
He is
Like,
very hurt.
Dude, his highlights from his Packers game last year, which I think Danny went to when he had like 134 rushing yards,
He was
he
all over the
moved.
place.
He moved
bro,
different. He
bro,
moved
even look
so different.
now on his sprints to the sideline, even in the last game, he's like it's like a limp. It's like a strong limp because he can't put pressure on that limp. He's hurt.
And we still call in quarterback powers and stuff, man. I can't believe it.
Unreal.
I'll tell you this though: the Niners let Kyler Murray drop 29 on them last week.
That is true. And
Kyler Murray with a beat down Cardinals team dropped 29 points.
yeah,
This game,
it's something to look towards, you know?
the Cardinals threw a pick six. This game was legitimately a one-score game. They won by 16. This game was a one-score game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, one to do hypotheticals and stuff, but you are correct. And I'm excited. I mean, this Ravens team is clearly better than the Cardinals. Lamar is better than Kyler. He's almost like a better version of Kyler. And what Lamar has done differently this year that I think is a little different than Jalen Hurts, that can cause a problem for the Niners, is that Lamar is never out of it to throw the ball downfield. He's able to throw off that back foot really well. He's able to step up in the pocket, throw well. Obviously he can throw on the run, but he's still always looking to get downfield. How long can this Niners secondary hold up with these receivers while Lamar makes things happen? Um,
And you know what?
so
I'll
yeah,
double down on this take that the Niners are almost at a level of fraudulent. They haven't beat a legitimate team outside of the Eagles and Cowboys this year.
fair,
Their wins,
but
their wins are the Steelers week 1, the Rams just barely, the Giants, come on, the Cardinals, the Cowboys they beat down. That was a legitimate win. Then after the Cowboys win, they lost 3 straight in the month of October. They beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars are we know the Jags. They're either the best team in the world or the worst. They beat the Bucks, the Seahawks, and then the Eagles win was the first impressive win of the year, in my
I
opinion.
wouldn't say that. You kind of just play who's in front of you, and health was a big factor in that 3-game stretch. But um, here's what I'll say about
It doesn't matter though, because if Brock Purdy gets hurt, or let's say McCaffrey got hurt in the playoffs, I'm not wishing injury on anybody. Then who are the Niners?
we'll find out. We'll find out. I'm not gonna say, I ain't gonna say they're gonna lose. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win, but we're gonna find out who they are if they lose one of their stars. But my predictions for this game, it's in Santa Clara. I think that would be the difference. I have the Niners winning a relatively low scoring game, just 20-17, something like that, 21-20-17.
That's a high score in Pittsburgh Steelers game, if you ask me.
Highest scoring Jags game. But I think the Niners and the Ravens defenses are going to not necessarily have like a great day in terms of turnovers, but they're going to cause problems for the opposing offenses. If this was in Baltimore, I'd be taking Baltimore, but it's in San Fran. I think this is going to be the first win where Purdy finds a way. He might even be down late in the fourth quarter, but I think this is going to be the type of game where he can prove it, find a way to win, and get it done. That's what I think, and it's going to be a big kicker game.
Do you have any other games to talk about this week? I think
I mean, not really. I mean, we could get into
Cowboys Dolphins is the only game.
That was the only one. Yeah, I'll say that one too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll talk about that one. Then we'll get
okay.
into hots and locks.
Legitimately, I'm not trying to be a homer. Steelers Bengals is for a playoff race spot. If the Steelers win, the Bengals are out of it. We have both of their tiebreakers over top of them. We'd have if we win. So that game, it matters. Jamar Chase is going to be out, likely. I think
Jake
we lose.
Browning and the gang.
Give me Jake Browning and the gang as well, because we employ George Pickens, who does not like to play football, apparently. He stopped blocking. Yo, did you see his explanation? I stopped blocking because I didn't want to get injured like Tank Dell.
I don't know. I would healthy scratch him, to be quite honest at this point. I'd healthy scratch him.
He said that because he stopped blocking in a red zone for Warren, and he said, "Why'd you stop blocking?" And he was like, "I didn't want to get hurt like Tank Dell."
Oh my god!
Yeah, I remember back in 2020 playing the Ravens. They threw Jalen Hurts in there to run a quarterback draw. They had Carson Wentz on the outside. Carson Wentz was stock blocking for Jalen Hurts, and he actually almost got rolled up on, like behind. Dog, you got a quarterback out there stock blocking for the guy who is trying to take his spot, and Carson Wentz has no business blocking is doing it. You can block for your mans. Come on.
Getting rolled up on is probably one of the scariest events of your life.
True, but there's no reason you shouldn't be blocking.
No.
Like you got to be blocking, man. Like, if that happens, it sucks. But to stop and stare, put your hands on somebody. Like,
Chris, you know what's even worse about it? He jumped over the guy that dove at his ankles.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to paint in my head, like getting rolled up on, because I feel like I know exactly what it is. Like when you fall, like somebody rolls, like you fall backwards almost, and somebody like falls into you. Is that what it is?
So basically, let's say
locked up, and the guy that basically the linebacker is chasing the running back, and he'll dive right into the back of your knee. And
you'll get tackled, and they'll like fall into your legs. It's
scary. It's scary.
But about the actual Bengals Steelers game, since his first start against the Steelers, I mean, Jake Browning, at least passing yards wise, has been lights out. He is the Bengals in a good spot where people didn't think they'd be in a good spot. They thought season was over for how Browning played against the Ravens, but I don't know. Maybe don't get too hype on a backup, but don't kill him after he didn't play well against one of the best defenses in the NFL. He has been a little turnover prone. That's going to happen when you just got to basically what Jake Browning is surviving off of is a very strong Joe Mixon running game, sprinkling Chase Brown in, and T. Higgins going absolutely insane last game. And that's what I've been wanting from T. Higgins. And that's essentially, what we got. And we'll see what happens this week. He's going to be going against a physical corner, Joey Porter Jr. I want to see him win some of these jump balls, win in space as well. If Jamar Chase is going to be out, someone's got to be dynamic. Relying on Tyler Boyd, a little scary. So, T, this is your opportunity. Bengals probably aren't going to pay you. This is your showcase. Show why you should be one of the highest paid receivers in the NFL. Basically, show the Patriots why you should be paid.
Or show the Buffalo Bills why I need to find out a way to figure out to get you to be wide receiver too. But they have no money.
Because it is
Diggs and Higgs.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Unfortunately, T. Higgins will be wide receiver one for the Baltimore Ravens next year.
Nah, Zay Flowers all the way. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah. Trust in Zay. Trust in Zay. All right, real quick. We'll talk about Cowboys Dolphins. I'll put it plain and simple. Cowboys aren't losing 2 in a row. They're going down to Miami. Warm weather Dak is a thing. I think
dome Dak
on the defense.
It's not Dak. Warm weather. It's dome Dak.
Not freezing rain Dak. I'll say that. I think they'll beat Miami.
He can grip the ball harder, throw them seam balls. Right. He's good.
Come on, man. Him and Jake Ferguson. Yes. Just know the overs will be punched.
I feel like Lamar wins against the Niners, doesn't put up a crazy game, and then Dak's going to go nutty against the Dolphins, Swiss cheese. And they're going to be like, well, Dak Prescott had a better game against the Dolphins, so thus he should be the MVP again.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I see. On Sunday when that happens, it's like, let it be known. Dak Prescott is not the MVP. He's good. He's very great quarterback. Phenomenal year. You're like Jalen Hurts last year. Sorry, buddy. You had a great year, but you're not the MVP.
It's hard. Oh my God, Jason Tatum's wearing pearls, man. What's going on? There's nothing wrong with that, but like my man looking crazy on the sideline. I ain't gonna lie. All right, so we can as a matter of fact, we can just get right into hots and locks. I do agree with you, Danny. I mean, MVP is kind of like on a week to week, and when you get slaughtered like that, you kind of put yourself out of it, just like Jalen Hurts put himself out of it. But hots and locks, did anybody want to get started? Can we pick? Did y'all want to pick throughout all the games going on this weekend, or did you guys just want to keep it to one day?
All the games are fine.
Mine for one day, yeah. I think it'd be quicker for us too.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's up to y'all.
Yeah, I got my Sunday ones already ready to lined up and ready.
Oh yeah, hey, if you're ready, then you can go.
Oh I spoke a little too soon. No, I'm just kidding. So Tony, got your pen and pad ready because this is about to be one of those ones. If y'all listening, even though I've been fucking up, this is gonna be better.
We're not Summit Savings yet. We're hots and locks.
Oh shoot, yeah, you're right. Same difference. So, my hot take for the week. Well, it's gonna be the Buccaneers beating the Jaguars.
Ooh, it's even hot at this point.
Honestly, because Prince that was promised, man. He's
still promised. He's still promised.
He's not promising right now. Or maybe Calvin really hands forgot how to work. I don't know what's happening.
He said, "Yo, the prince that be keeping it 99. He be lying sometimes."
Literally. I like Evan Ingram for Trevor Lawrence, but yeah, I think the Jaguars fall. And then lock. I've learned from locking my Ravens. I'm not doing that anymore because I'm not trying to be scared. So I am going to lock. I'll lock Chiefs over Raiders because Chiefs need that game. I'll lock them. Chiefs over Raiders.
Pretty easy. You could have just locked the Niners. Either you're right or you're happy.
And I don't want to be. I don't know what I want to be, so I'm gonna stay.
I don't want to be right. Danny, it's your turn. Hots and locks, or did you want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
My lock of the week is a Bears W over the Cardinals.
Woo!
They've been playing
Justin Fields fighting for his spot. Yeah.
Yeah, and my hot of the week is that the Vikings get it done at home against the Lions.
I like that one. I think I like what the Vikings defense is going to be able to show Jared Goff. And on the other end, I think Nick Mullins didn't play that bad of a game last week.
Dude, the Vikings.
If there's any week to get it right, it's the Lions defense.
Dude, they're the most unlucky team in the NFL. They lost by 1 to the Broncos, 2 to the Bears, and then they lost by 3 to the Bengals. Their last 3 losses are combined margin of 6. It's brutal.
It's tough, man. It is it's tough. Okay. So for my hot take, I really liked both of y'all's. I don't even think I was looking in that direction. Unfortunately. Okay, so for my hot take, I'm going to take the Panthers over the Packers. I have no reasoning behind it. Bryce Young's him. That's my reasoning. Even though he hasn't had the best year, but ain't his fault. Free my man. So hot take, I'm going to take the Panthers. And then for my lock, I'm going to take Seahawks over the Titans. I think the Seahawks build off this week. Huge win against the Eagles. Titans, not looking that good. Guys are banged up. Just not, giving off a team that wants to win type of vibes. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks for my lock. And then we can get into Summit Savings, of course. Did anybody want to go or I can go. All of us are taking different days, like we said. I got the Saturday games. Danny has the Monday games, and Chris is Sunday. If y'all want, I can go with mine since I have it up. I just gotta pull it up real quick. I already put it in to the DraftKings, so just gotta wait for it to load up. I did some pretty good research on these too, so I'm kind of proud of these picks. I think it will do pretty well. The odds on mine are 3,572. $5, 183. So for the first game on Saturday, in Bengals Steelers, I have Joe Mixon over 45.5 rushing yards. He has hit that line all but a handful of times this year, not even. Maybe like 3 or 4 times he's not hit that number. And they've been relying on him heavy past couple games. And I think they'll go to him again. Jake Browning, over 238.5 passing yards. I picked this because since his first start against Pittsburgh, where he had, I believe, 230 passing yards, he's been destroying that line, and I expect him to do it this time. They're going to have a balanced, rush pass game. They're going to need it against a defense like Pittsburgh. And then I have Deontay Johnson over 44.5 receiving yards. He's hit that line, I believe, in his last 3 games. Mason Rudolph will be making his first start. I think he's going to go to a familiar face. I mean, he's been around a long time. So I expect Mason Rudolph to look towards a guy that he knows. In the second game, Bills-Chargers, my only fear is that the Bills players won't be in long enough to hit these numbers. I got James Cook at an alternate rush receiving yards line over 100. He's on a hot streak. If there's anything like a hot streak, it's this. He's been on a tear. I got Stephon Diggs for 60-plus alternate receiving yards as well. Just as bad as his run defense is for LA, pass defense is just as bad. So I think both of those guys will hit crazy numbers this game. And then I have Easton Stick over 201.5 passing yards. I say this because, and I hope he doesn't get pulled, they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So he was able to break that line last week. Hopefully they can do it again against this Bills team. So, yeah, that's my stuff.
Yeah, Chris, you can go next because we go in order.
I say, yeah, that makes sense. So starting off on Sunday, I'm taking Sam Howell under pass rush yards, playing the Jets defense. I don't think that's happening. Maybe I got too much faith in him, but yep. I'm taking my boy Jetta's receiving yards over. I mean, it's Justin Jefferson, so what else do I have to say? David Njoku taking his receiving yards over as well. This dude's been on a tear, and he's literally been like the target of the century on the Browns the last like 3 weeks. So I'm taking his receiving yards over. I'm taking Kyler Murray pass rush yards over as well. They're playing the Bears, unserious. I'm also taking Justin Fields pass rush yards over because they're playing the Cardinals, unserious. So I think they both should have a great game. And then lastly, I'm taking Cheetah receiving yards over in that game.
Nice. I kind of like that. I like that one a lot. I was looking at Jefferson. In every game he's played start to finish, he's obliterated that line for him.
It's so low, right? It feels low, but I mean he's coming.
His first 4 games of the season, he had like over 140 yards every single. He would have destroyed. Like if Kirk was healthy all year,
oh my god,
or if he was healthy as well, he might have an MVP argument. I don't know, but yeah. So that's being Chris. Chris, just to recap his real quick: Sam Howell under pass plus rushing yards. Jetta's over his receiving yards. And then Njoku also over his receiving yards. Kyler Murray, Justin Fields over their pass plus rush yards. And Tyreek Hill over on his yards because he'll be guarded by old ass Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
And Danny.
So we're going to get into none other than what is this light? Sorry. I don't know why.
No, you're good, man. Take your time.
I don't know why the light is acting like that. Anyway, we're getting into our 5-leg Monday night parlay. So
Christmas parlay.
Christmas. Merry Christmas. Pay for your presents parlay.
Nice.
We got the Chiefs, Eagles, and the Ravens money line. And then Jalen Hurts is destined to score anytime against the Giants. It's a trap. Do not take Boston Scott to score. He's played 5% of snaps this year. Please don't bet him to score a touchdown. He's not scoring. He's not going to play.
I'm betting him to score twice.
He's not playing.
Yes, he will. He's on the roster for these games.
Probably. Honestly, Howie's such a joke at this point. Like, these games don't matter to the Eagles because they can't get the 1 seed. They need the division, but still. Anyway, Jalen Hurts anytime, and lock it up with Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown against the Raiders. In his career, his stats versus the Raiders in his career: 106 catches, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns in 19 games. He's scoring in over half the games against the Raiders. So,
damn,
Yeah, that's good logic.
that's pretty good.
So, on my kicking off the holiday weekend, my Saturday lay, Joe Mixon over his rushing yards, Jake Browning over his passing yards, Deontay Johnson over his receiving yards, James Cook over 100 scrimmage yards, Stephon Diggs over 60 receiving yards, and then Easton Stick over 201 passing yards. Chris, on Christmas Eve, getting you set up right on some last-minute Christmas gifts. If you fail, look this way. Sam Howell under, pass plus rush yards. Murray and Fields over, pass plus rush yards. Jettas, Ninjoku, and Tyreek Hill over on their receiving yards. And then on Christmas, you want to earn that present money back. Danny's got you. Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, money line. And then Jalen Hurts and Travis Kelce getting in the end zone against their division rivals. And that will wrap that up. It was a great Summit Savings and a great holiday episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. Turn on post notifications. We upload usually every Wednesday, but we had to do Thursday this time around. But we did want to deliver y'all an episode for Christmas because it's the season of giving, and we had to give you all this heat. As always, if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please like, download, leave a 5-star rating. Say what you like about the team. If you all like Chris's hair, say you like Chris's hair. If you like Danny's hot takes, say you like Danny's hot takes.
if you think Josh Allen is not the MVP, tell us that he's ass.
Tell us why. Leave us a 5-star rating and don't say anything about the show. Just say something about Josh Allen. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are our official mascots.
If you watch the show, you have to comment about Josh Allen in the comments.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's how we know
about Josh Allen. That just proves you're not a diehard. You don't go all the way to the end.
That's what she said.
But anything to say before we get on out of here, guys?
From us three, we wish you a Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Holidays.
Happy holidays.
All of them.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. Happy Kwanzaa to whoever celebrates. Spend time with your family. Tell your family about the show. Tell your family to tell their friends about the show. Print out the link to our YouTube channel and put it on the presents. There's no other way you could really celebrate Christmas without telling people about Sideline Summit. I mean, but the
hottest podcast on your block coming out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy holidays, and we'll catch you guys next week.